The Chicago Bears have a new quarterbacks coach to help develop either Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Drake May, whoever the quarterback is next year. We have a new QB coach, and his name is Kerry Joseph. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears news update video, which I'll be doing anytime the Chicago Bears news going on. And Shane Waldron's made his first hire on his new Chicago Bears offensive coaching staff, and by no surprise, it's somebody that he's familiar with, that he worked with in Seattle. Kerry Joseph was the assistant quarterbacks coach under Shane Waldron the past couple years, and I think the move makes a lot of sense. If you look at his history, he's not very experienced, I would say, as a coach, but he does have decent experience, and he was a former quarterback too, and a former safety too, actually, in the NFL, which it's pretty interesting to have that offensive and defensive background while you're coaching up the quarterbacks. I think it actually could be a helpful thing to know how defensive coverages work, how defenders, play ball, to teach the quarterback that stuff so they can better attack defenses, right? So I think the move does make a lot of sense. It's going to be a pretty important position that we filled in right here. He's going to have to get to work either reviving the career of Justin Fields or helping develop a number one overall QB in Caleb Williams and Drake May. Again, I'm not sure who the quarterback is going to be at this point in time, but let's run through his history and see what he's going to bring to the Chicago Bears. So Kerry Joseph, as I mentioned, was a former player in the NFL, in the CFL, and NFL Europe as well. He was never a superstar, really. That's why he had to bounce from league to league. But in college football, he played at McNeese State University, had a pretty decent career there as a quarterback. He was a dual threat quarterback, keep in mind. So that is pretty important that he does have experience himself being a runner and a passer at the quarterback spot, because he might be coaching up a quarterback in Justin Fields, who is a dual threat quarterback, or even a Caleb Williams is really good at running with the football too. Okay, obviously we do want to mostly develop them as a passer and be a passing first quarterback, but in this league there are many dual threat quarterbacks, and he could be coaching one with the Chicago Bears. So he does have experience himself playing the quarterback spot. He went to the Cincinnati Bengals in his first stint with the NFL, but then he actually went to the London Monarchs in the World League, another different football league. After that, he went to the Seattle Seahawks, back to the NFL, to actually be a safety for them for 4 years. So switching sides of the ball there, basically he just wanted, play football however he could, and he got a job there being a safety in the NFL, which is pretty cool. After that, he actually spent a lot of time in the CFL being a quarterback. Okay, so then he went back to playing quarterback for a bunch of different CFL teams. And then looking at his time as a coach, he started out coaching with the New Orleans Saints in 2014 under Sean Payton's staff as a training camp intern, helped out various operations there. Then he went back to his alma mater to be a co-offensive coordinator and receivers coach. After that, he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be a training camp intern, went back to college again to his alma mater for 1 year, and then spent a year at Southeastern Louisiana to be the running backs coach and passing game coordinator. Then he got a break with the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks in 2020 under Brian Schottenheimer's staff to be an offensive assistant. Then Shane Waldron comes in 2021, replaces Brian Schottenheimer, but Shane Waldron keeps him and makes him the assistant wide receivers coach. And then from 2022 to 2023, he was the assistant quarterbacks coach and helped coach up Geno Smith and Drew Lock. And as you guys know, Geno Smith had a breakout year in 2022, passed for 4,282 passing yards, 30 passing touchdowns, only 11 interceptions. That would be the best passing season in the history of the Chicago Bears. This guy helped coach him up. The main quarterback coach there was Dave Canales, though, and Dave Canales currently is the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. He did a good job being the OC with the Buccaneers and got promoted to being a head coach. So it is pretty interesting that Kerry Joseph did directly work with Dave Canales, who I know many people are high on, and he helped him in his preparation. He helped, in the trainings that they did with Geno Smith to help him be a better quarterback at the age of 32. So I think helping out a successful project in Geno Smith, reviving his career, it is pretty important, right? I know that's not directly attributed to only one person. It was the work of Shane Waldron, Dave Canales, and he helped out with that too. But it is pretty cool that he was a part of that staff that helped a former struggling quarterback become a solid starter. So I do think it makes sense to hire him in that regard, that he already had successes being the assistant quarterbacks coach. So the next, job in line after that promotion would be to be the main quarterbacks coach. And knowing Shane Waldron before, I think it did make sense for Shane Waldron to bring him on the Chicago Bears coaching staff to see if he can have success being the quarterbacks coach by himself from what he learned working with Dave Canales and Shane Waldron in the past. And I think his experience being a quarterback and a safety is pretty cool because, again, like I mentioned, he can teach the quarterback, whoever it is next year, specific information that maybe only a defensive minded coach would know. And I know we have Matt Eberflus here on the staff, but having a quarterbacks coach that specifically knows how safeties, how DBs are going to attack the quarterback and teaching the young quarterback that stuff, I think could be very helpful in their development and helping them, be smarter overall as quarterbacks. So that's pretty cool. Then lastly, I do want to bring up that he is going to be the quarterbacks coach at the Senior Bowl coming up on February 3rd. So that's also something to point out, that the Bears have another coach now on the Senior Bowl staff. I know that the quarterbacks that we're going to be looking at probably are not going to be in the Senior Bowl, like a Caleb Williams, like a Drake May, but it is pretty cool that he already did get the chance to, be the quarterbacks coach, and he is going to be coaching some guys up there at the Senior Bowl. Overall, I think it's a decent hire. It's not a flashy, sexy, amazing hire, but it's also not a terrible hire. I think it's just an okay hire, which is fine. I mean, with coaches, like you can only say so much about their past before you have to just let them coach on the football field and let the results speak for themselves. Because if he does have successes, working with Justin Fields or with Caleb Williams, Drake May, whoever, then we're going to be praising him. But if those quarterbacks flop next year, whoever it is for the Bears, then we're going to be running him out of town. Okay, we're just going to have to wait and see. It's impossible to know right now. But I really do hope he can do a good job with the quarterback, developing them, whoever it is, because quarterback development has been a major failure of the Bears for the past 20-30 years. Like my entire life, the Bears have not been able to develop quarterbacks. Hopefully this guy can get the job done and work with Shane Waldron to be, a pretty good coach on the staff. Leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.